Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to repair a synthetic wig. Alright, so I want to come on here today and I wanted to show you guys how you can repair a synthetic wig. I get asked this question all the time from people, and it's actually pretty easy, and there's a couple different ways that you can repair your synthetic wig when it starts to kind of get worn out and kind of dry and matted up. And there are a couple ways that you can repair it and bring kind of new life to your wig. So I wanted to show you guys how to do that in this video today. Before we get started on this video, I wanted to remind you guys, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notifications on all the videos I do in the future. And give me a like on this video, I'd really appreciate it. We are gonna be doing a huge giveaway when we hit 5,000 subscribers. That's our goal for this year. So now that I've said all of that, we can go ahead and get into this video. So like I was saying, a lot of times when you have a wig, we're gonna use this wig right here as an example, and you wear her a lot, it just kind of starts to get a little bit matted. The ends start to get kind of dry and they just kind of stick together. It doesn't have that smooth, silky, soft touch that it had when you first got the wig. So this wig right here is one of my favorite wigs. This is the third one of her that I've actually bought. And the first time I got her, I actually did do something very similar to her that I'm gonna show you guys in the video, and I turned her into a straight wig. And now if you look at this wig and you look at her ends and all of that, she looks very nice. She looks brand new. And every once in a while, if she starts to get a little bit rough feeling, I just run some heat through her again and she's completely brand new again. So that's kind of what I want to show you guys how to do in this video. So the big thing with this is you want to make sure before you do this that your wig is heat safe. If your wig is not heat safe, unfortunately, this is not the way to repair your wig. There are other methods that you can do, but for this specific method, you want to make sure that your wig is heat safe to do this. And really all you're going to need for this is I recommend a straightening brush, because when you're using something like this, especially with a flat iron, and you take a piece of synthetic fiber, AKA a plastic type fiber, and you press it between two heat sources, there isn't a whole lot of places for the heat to escape, and you can essentially cause a little bit too much heat to happen, and you could potentially damage your wig. So with a brush, when you go to use something like this, there's still space here for the heat to escape, and it doesn't get too hot and it doesn't really trap the heat and the hair together. So I recommend something like this. This is very cheap. I bought this from Sally's for like 25 bucks. If all you have is a flat iron and you don't wanna go invest in something like this, you can use that. I just recommend, if you're using a flat iron, that you start out on the lowest setting possible and then slowly work your way up, just so you don't cause too much heat to be trapped with your wig. We're gonna start it on low, and if I feel like I need to bump it up to high, I will, but we're gonna start off on the low setting. And then the other things you're gonna want is you're gonna wanna have some type of wig brush. Now, as far as wig brushes go, the biggest difference between a wig brush and like a regular brush is wig brushes have these little loops on them instead of just like the normal little pegs. And it really helps not pull on the hair. So I highly recommend getting something like this, especially if you're gonna be wearing wigs. You can use this every single day to brush out your wigs. Like I use this all the time. The other thing you're gonna want is a big kind of wide tooth comb of some sort. We're gonna use this to get the initial tangles out before we run this brush through it. And then also I always recommend some type of dry conditioner or a silicone wig spray is fine as well, whatever you prefer. When it comes to silicone wig sprays, this is gonna have a little bit more of like a shine to it and put a little bit more of like that lustrous kind of look. This is gonna be a little bit more lighter and just kind of help condition the wig without adding too much product. So it's really personal preference what you wanna use. I'll go ahead and show you both on this wig so you can kind of see the difference between the two. But this is also gonna kind of help protect the wig when we're adding the heat to it, and it's also just gonna help with the overall softness of it once we're done. Something else I will say that makes this easier is if you do have a wig head. If you don't, you can do this on your own head while you're wearing the wig. It's just a lot easier to see what you're doing and really be very precise if you have a wig head, or if you don't have a wig head and you have someone at home who is willing to wear the wig for you while you do this, that makes it a lot easier as well, because you can really just see the back and everything and really get in where you need to get in. So now we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna show you guys step by step how I'm going to make this wig, which you can see is very matted back here. Her ends are very dry and rough and they kind of stick together. She's just not soft anymore. She's just more of a dry, kind of matted mess because I wear her all the time. And we're gonna go ahead and fix her. We're gonna wanna go ahead and take our wide tooth comb, and we're gonna wanna try to get as much of the tangling out of her as possible. Now I know when a wig is really damaged, this can be kind of hard because as soon as you brush through it, if you move her, the tangles come back. But it shouldn't be too bad if you're really trying to really get those knots out. And then also another big recommendation when it comes to brushing your wigs out, you always wanna start kind of at the ends and brush out those big tangles and then slowly work your way. You never wanna pull, because if you pull, you can actually kind of stretch the hair and the fiber and actually damage it and cause more issue. And then once I do that, I'll go ahead and show you guys the next step after we brush through her. All right, so once you comb through her with your wide toothbrush, you're gonna wanna go ahead and just take your wig brush and just give her one last little brush through, just making sure you can run that brush all the way through. I know this is gonna be kind of hard if this wig really is very, very damaged. This one's not too bad. She just gets really frizzy and matted when I wear her because she just has a lot of damage to her ends, but some can be really, really damaged. And in that case, you just wanna kind of section off the hair and brush it in small sections. That'll make it a lot easier for you. And keeping those sections separate will also help too as you're doing the rest of the wig. But we're just gonna run this brush through till we can brush all the way through her. This is really important because when we go to run the heat brush through it, we don't want it to get snagged on the hair because it will cause damage. Because especially since it's gonna be heat and it's gonna be making the hair a lot more fragile, we just wanna make sure we've really brushed through her really well so we don't have any issues. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some heat to her. Usually what I like to do before I do that is I will take either my silicone wig spray or my dry conditioner and I'll just spray her down. This also kind of, I feel like, helps kind of protect her from the heat and gives her just a really nice smooth look. Oh God. Oh, that was too much. I just took a big deep breath of that. Whew, okay. So as my 8-year-old would say,
you said keep your window open.
No, it's not that bad, but I always, when I'm repairing a wig, I always like to use a little bit more of this than I normally would use on a day-to-day basis. Especially on the ends, you really wanna get a good amount of this on there. Get these ends really well. And as you can see, just doing this really already makes her look a lot better. But now that we've done that, I'm gonna take my brush one more time, brush through her one more time with my brush, just to get all that product where I want it. All right, so now the next thing we're gonna do is, like I said, I don't wanna lose a lot of this curl. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna really just focus on her ends, because up here, she's really still nice and soft. And we are gonna lose a little bit of the curl here on this end, this last little curl, but it's really just gonna turn her into kind of like the style I'm wearing now, where she's kind of has that straight here, and then her curl starts up a little bit higher. It's a really popular style right now, so I don't think it's that big of a deal for that to happen, but we're not losing all of the curl and we're not completely changing the way she looks. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of section her off and do this throughout the whole wig until we're finished, and then we will come back and look at her, and I'll tell you guys the last step that I like to do, really just to kind of finalize this whole repair and really just give her her final look. So I just like to section this off, work in really small sections, and I'm just gonna be taking this heat and really concentrating it at the ends. And I'm just gonna run it through a couple times. You're gonna notice a big difference right away with the way that she feels. She's gonna instantly kind of become softer. And I'm really only doing this like bottom 2 inches. I'm not going any higher than that. It's really just that first little curl that she has. And we're getting now towards that back nape of the neck area. So when we get to here, I really like to kind of really get underneath here and kind of do a little section like this so that I can get that underneath hair, because that's really where a lot of the damage happens, and it's where a lot of the frizz and poofiness can occur when it comes to your wigs. All right, so for this bottom layer, as you can see, there's a lot more damage, a lot higher up. I am gonna go ahead and straighten this. This is the bottom layer, so you're not really gonna see that it's not curly. I would just recommend you really get only the hair that you need and just make sure it really is that bottom area. And we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna start right where we see that damage, and we're gonna bring this down. Again, you don't wanna let the hair get caught in there, so if you do feel like it's getting caught, you wanna stop, brush through it again, and just kind of reassess and start over again, because you don't want to pull or get stuck in that hair, because it will break and damage the hair more. And as you can see, you can already see a huge difference in the way she looks. And then I'm just gonna flip her over and just make sure that I don't have anything here. As you can see, it's not too bad. You are gonna have a little bit of that underneath there going on. You can take that silicone spray. When we're all done, I'll show you and kind of fix that a little bit. But we're really just gonna concentrate on the hair itself here, that we see that damage to the nape of the neck. And you really can see like an instant difference. And if you don't pull too hard, you won't lose too much of that curl. That curl is still kind of there. You just don't wanna pull. When you pull, you start to lose the curl pattern a lot more. All right, so once you've gone through the wig and you've really kind of gotten all those ends that you feel like you needed to get, as you can see, she's got about 2 inches of a little bit of straight here, but she still has her curl, her original style. I did go ahead also, because this is a layered wig, there was a couple, you know, layered areas that were a little bit shorter, and I just hit the ends of those. You can do that, just be careful not to pull, and you shouldn't really lose any of the curling there. And then the last thing that I want to show you guys that I like to do, and this really just helps keep this from happening again and really just helps you keep this wig looking nice like this longer, is I'm gonna go ahead and flip this wig inside out. And I'm gonna go ahead and take my silicone wig spray, and I'm gonna spray this back nape area right here and just give this a good little coat, especially really, I mean, honestly, the whole underneath, because this all rubs up against your clothes, your neck, your jewelry, and everything. And it just tends to really mat up a lot faster than the top part of the wig does. And this stuff really helps keep this from tangling up, and it adds this nice little layer of protection to the wig. And then we're just gonna go ahead and take our wig brush again, or your wide tooth comb, whatever you want, and just kind of brush that product through. This silicone spray does really kind of coat the hair and keep it from like tangling up to itself. Don't freak out if you spray the silicone wig spray on a wig and then you go take heat to it, you're gonna see a little steam. That's just the product hitting the heat. Your wig is fine, your wig's not burning, I promise, as long as your wig's heat safe. I'm gonna say that like 20 times in this video because I really don't want someone to ruin their wig when it's not heat safe. You cannot take heat to a non-heat safe synthetic wig. So if it is, if you're not sure, check the website where you bought the wig, or if it doesn't say on there, just ask. Usually they know if it's heat safe or not. And everyone's usually pretty good about stating that, but if you aren't sure, just ask, because you don't want to ruin a wig. Especially like if you're buying your wigs from Amazon and places like that, a lot of times those synthetic wigs aren't heat safe. All right, so now I just went in and I just hit the top root part of this underneath because I just noticed it had a little bit more tangling that I wanted to get rid of, and now she's really nice and smooth. I can run my hands through her. That's really a good sign. If you can go like this and your hand's not getting stuck, it's not tangling to itself or anything like that, you know you've done a good job of getting that underneath really nice and coated with the silicone wig spray, and also just really detangled and repaired. And then we're just gonna go ahead and flip her back around so I can just show you the final official look on her. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and throw her on so you guys can really see how she looks now versus the crazy picture in the thumbnail. This is kind of the final result. It's really easy. I just wanted to kind of show you guys this because I get asked a lot. I make little videos and I send them to people, and I just wanted to have a video that I can really just make sure that I can direct you guys to it and you have that resource. I hope it was helpful. Like I said earlier in the video, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notifications on all the videos I do in the future. And give me a like if you found this useful. I would really appreciate it. Don't forget, we are gonna be doing a huge wig giveaway when we hit 5,000 subscribers. So make sure you let someone know if they wear wigs that this is where they wanna come watch videos on how to take care of their wigs. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you on the next video.